Hello there, Prophetess Danielle. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Danielle, we are on until 5 minutes to the hour. So at 10 minutes to the hour, we want to be wound up before 5 minutes to the hour, Danielle. So we can start our countdown. Let's make sure, Danielle, that all of our comments are on so they can comment. The last time the comments were off. And I guess they are on because I can see your comments. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. We will be dealing with the complication of challenging a narcissist. The complications of challenging a narcissist. Many of you challenge the narcissist and you're hoping that they listen to your sense of reasoning, your sense of challenging to come to a reasonable conclusion. But with the narcissist, it's not that simple. It's not that simple because any sense of correction can be considered a threat with the narcissist, especially when you're dealing with an ultra ego. You have to be careful how you handle these people with hello there, blessed. How are you, blessed beauty? How are you? Thank you for joining us. If any of you have challenged a narcissist and you saw the results, or you felt the results, or you got the results, I want you to put that in the chat. Write that down. What happened when you challenged the narcissist? And I mean, what you were saying was a sense of reasonable, was reasonable, and you wanted them to consider the options for a better outcome. Let me know what happened when you did that, because narcissists do not, yeah, the blame shift. Right there. That's a good one. Yeah, they revert the charges. They revert the options and they make the dispelment all about you. You are the blame. You are the cause. If you had not done this, said this, be this, then this would not have happened. The narcissist does not take criticism easy. Even if it's the truth, they don't take criticism easy because you begin to fray their alter ego. And when they have a sense of professionalism, this is why they courted you through the love bombing stage, and to them, you were so perfect. And then when they saw your humanity, they thought you had disillusioned them, that you had deceived them. Good evening, Ernestine. Thank you for joining me. They thought you had disillusioned them. They thought you had deceived them because they thought you were so perfect. You never said you was perfect. You never even presented that you were perfect. There was all their ideology. And now they blame you for their disappointment. And like Blessed said, they blame shift. They start putting the blame on you. They start blaming you. Hey, Angela. Wow. Good evening, Angela. It's so good to have you on board with us. It's awesome. And so when they start to blame shift and start to blame you for everything that goes wrong, it is not easy to challenge a narcissist because they would never ever admit. If they admit, just wait a little bit, because then you're going to see what they want. They're only going to conclude if there's no other way out, and they see that they're only going to gain through admitting that they were wrong. They're going to come back with the truth and with their truth. And their truth is, no, if you had not done this, if you had not said this, then this wouldn't happen. They are never going to take full responsibility for their behavior. That is not what they do. So if you have tried to challenge a narcissist, I want you to write in the chat what happened. She shall only live for themselves. You know what, blessed beauty? They only live for themselves. It's always about them. It's never about you. And when you make it about you, they tell you you're selfish. And you're thinking, how am I selfish? My whole life has been given to making sure you are okay, pleasing you. And now that I say I challenge this, now I'm selfish. They would even call you the narcissist. Come on, talk back to me. Talk back to me. Because we're going to see some things which happen when you challenge the narcissist. One thing when you challenge the narcissist with constructive feedback, constructive criticism, they often perceive it as an attack on their perfection, or it can trigger a disproportionate and intense emotional outburst known as narcissistic rage. If you're on the other side of a narcissistic rage, and I mean they're overt, they're raising their voice, they're threatening to do something to you. Even the cowardice ones threaten you. But when they know you're not going to take this, all they do is mouth, 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 mouth. And when they finish, because they know you're not going to take it, they walk away. And then they'll punish you through intense silence or discard, because they want you to hurt. So they'll actually go out and cheat. You don't even see them. But thought fuel, they know, she knows I'm out and I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to cheat to hurt her. How you going to cheat to hurt her? She don't even see what you're doing. But that's what they're thinking. Blessed said, my 19-year-old challenged her and she ran off to college in Arkansas and doesn't talk to me. Did you challenge your 19-year-old, Blessed, or your 19-year-old challenge someone? You know, when teenagers are narcissists, we can see some of the behavior in the earlier years, but because children are so selfish, it's hard to see it, because children got a natural tendency towards selfishness and the I syndrome. So a lot of times when you find out they may be like a father or mother narcissist, they're usually older, about 16 to 19 years old. Then you got a pattern of disproportionate behavior. She said, I challenged my daughter, who I believe is a narcissist, and praying for her. Oh my God, absolutely. She said, it's heartbreaking. I know it is, because it's your child. But usually when that happened, something have happened to their child. It's something they saw that caused them to go inward and not been able to come out. Something they believe. And when you get a narcissist, it's a lot of insignificant behavior that they take on themselves, and they lessen their importance. They lessen their values, and they think that they are not worthy, or they don't live up to standard. And even though they have an ultra ego, they are still insecure in their behavior. And so they cover it up with a sense of, how can I say? They cover it up because when they got this egotistical behavior about them, they cover it up with that. She said the smallest boundary is perceived as a threat. It is, Danielle, that's right there. She said, I didn't return a missed call from a narc, and the numerous calls to any place I could was insane. Absolutely. Hey there, Karen, how are you? I could be. You know what? When a narcissist, when you miss their call, they don't want to know that you were in a meeting. They don't want to know that you had an emergency. How dare you miss my call and see my name? They expect for you to respond to them immediately. They expect for you to carry out their command immediately. They don't know. They don't want to hear anything else but yes. Helen. Hey, Helen. It's been a while. She said, hello, Helen Sadler. It's been a while since I've tuned in to live chat. It has been a long while, but thank you for coming in on tonight. And look at the subject. When you challenge a narcissist, A narcissist that is challenged, if you ever want to see outbursts, if you ever want to see violence, this is it. And Lisa Campbell said, hit the like button and subscribe. It's rough out here in these empath streets. Oh, it is very, especially if you're an empath, when you have all of this violence and anti-love going on. She said they were tracking me down everywhere. Finally answered the call at work when coworkers said I had an emergency call. Wow. She said, turn everybody against you. They will, but that's a smear campaign. Blessed that you was talking about. Yeah, that's that smear campaign. If you don't bow down to them, they are going to smear your name with everybody they know, everybody that they come in contact with. They're going to make sure they know how rude and nasty you are. Good evening, Eminem. How are you? They're going to make sure you know. They're going to make sure everybody know that you did them wrong. And you didn't. You challenged them. A challenge to a narcissist is wrongdoing. A challenge to a narcissist is chipping away at their character. She said the emergency was a false alarm. Of course. Yeah, of course. Because they was going to get you regardless. And guess what? When they got you, they felt a sense of relief. Like, how dare you think you can get away from me? She said, absolutely. That's it right there. Yeah. See, they don't want to be challenged. And then they'll make you feel that you've done something wrong by challenging them. But they'll challenge you all the time. They'll challenge you with everything they got. They can tell you you did wrong, but you can't tell them that they did wrong. And based on the type of narcissist you have, challenging a narcissist can be dangerous. Because if you see a narcissist and they're looking at you and you don't like what they see in their eyes, you don't like what you see, take it seriously. She said, all you have to do is to say no. And then it automatically, the silent treatment. You know what? Lisa, you're right. They can't handle no. Karen said, when a missed call for the ex-narcissist, he left a long voice mail. Part of that message is cut off, baby. She said they play victim and have you feel that you are the problem. And well, yeah, that's it, Eminem. And it would will have others think wrong of you. See, that's the smear campaign that Blessed Beauty was talking about. They're going to make sure everybody feels terrible about you. They're going to make sure you have no way out. They're going to make sure of that. See? And they're going to make sure that everybody down you, everybody don't believe that you are worth anything. They're going to make themselves believe that they are the power keg in your life. And people think, how dare she mistreat that beautiful man? Or how dare he mistreat that beautiful woman? And the whole time they're the problem. You just challenge them. You can see them with someone holding hands, kissing them, and take a picture, take a video. They will gaslight you and say, that's not true. You use AI. You don't even know how to use AI. You're like, no, this is not AI. This is you doing what this video say you're doing. And they're like, how dare you stand up to me and tell me what I did when I know I didn't? At this time, I was this. And you can't prove that they were there, but you can't disapprove it either. They're not going to take responsibility for their behavior. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. She said they lie so much. Girl, you better talk about it, Lisa. They do. They lie so much. She said, to them, challenge is disrespect and betrayal. It is. Yes, ma'am. Danielle, it is. And it's just citing a situation so you can reach a conclusion. You will never reach a conclusion with them. She said, yes, you are. She said, yes, so you're looked upon wrongly and negatively, and they can't handle a strong woman. They pass judgment. You know what? To a narcissist, it doesn't matter how strong you are. You will never be very strong to them. Why? Because they have an egomania. They have a grandiose position. So they don't care about your strength. They only care about themselves. Helen said, accountability isn't in the narcissist. No, because a narcissist feel like they're not accountable to anything. If you notice, we got it right up display on a high level right before us. They are not accountable to anyone. They don't yield to anyone. They don't subject themselves to anyone. They don't yield and submit to any authority. They are the authority. An altruistic narcissist is different because the altruistic narcissists they play victim. And they only want the strong, but they want the strong to overpossess them, to override them, because they need a victim mentality. They are needing it. And they take care of people, and they can't be around strong people. They have to be around people who need them. Accountability is an illusion with the narcissist. Yes, ma'am, it is. Because they're only going to tell you what's wrong with you. They're going to tell you what's not right with you. They're going to tell you how you deal wrong with them. They're going to tell you everything they've done for you, and they haven't done nothing. Most of the things that you accomplished, they're going to take credit for. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have got there, and you think, I made the down payment on that car. I made the down payment on the house. I bought this for the kids. I took them. But they're going to take credit. They live in an alternate reality, and to them, that is their reality. So no matter how you talk to a narcissist, the narcissist would not have any accountability. If you notice, and once you incite rage, they're vindictive. A narcissist is very, very vindictive. They're going to invalidate your behavior. They're going to invalidate your strength. They're going to invalidate even the kids. I mean, the kid, you've been with the narcissist for 10 years. Your oldest child is 8 years old. And all of a sudden they'll come out of the blue and say, is that my child? You haven't cheated on them. They were in the delivery room when you had the child. Name on the birth certificate, and that you don't go anywhere, and they know you didn't do anything. And then 8 years later, they say, I don't believe that's my child. I want a DNA test. You take the DNA test and come back as their child. And you know what they say? You tamper with the paperwork. The narcissist, no matter what you do. Have you ever talked to somebody with word salad? Oh my God. It's like you speak English, they're speaking Chinese Mandarin. You don't even know what they're saying. You're like, what are you saying? They're like, you know what I'm saying. And just when you think you're coming to a conclusion, you said, family, we're getting ready to rectify this problem. They go right back to the beginning. You never come to a conclusion. You're like, oh, we've been talking for 3 hours, and I thought we was getting somewhere. They back at the beginning of the conversation. And you're saying, I can't believe this. And they say, you don't believe it because you don't want to believe it. See, because now you're saying that I'm right. Now you want to change the whole story. I never said you was right, because that's not even the truth. It is the truth. You just got a problem believing. Everything you say, they reverse the order. Now, what you said, they're putting that blame on you. Well, what I said, you said, you didn't say that, I said that. Exposing the narcissist is an injury to their image. Yep, this is Helen and Lena. They are turn up the fire against their prey. Because a predator don't care about the insignificance of the prey. They don't care about the compassion of a prey. There's no compassion. The pushback is real. Yeah, there's no compassion. If you ever live with a narcissist, especially if you have a sociopath, psychopath, or a covert or overt narcissist, those are very dangerous. Their systems of strategy is dangerous. They live in a hurt realm, unalive realm, and they make threats that they will keep. Yeah, they will make threats that they will keep. They keep their threats. If a narcissist threatens you, don't you ever take it lightly. They would never. No. A narcissist become obsessed with their feed. When you're in the narcissist feed, They're obsessed with their feet. That's why I said if you see a narcissist and they're looking at you and you got this speculative threat zone in their eyes, you need to be careful because narcissists are very patient. They're very patient, especially the mid and upper narcissists. They have learned through enough experience if they just wait for it, if they just be patient with it, they'll get it. Because the upper, the mid upper narcissists and the narcissists know if I wear them down. That's why word salad, they wear you down. They don't let you sleep. They keep going back to the same thing. Same conversation. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And finally, you just, you like, okay, whatever you say. They don't care about that. What they care about is, I won. She said they want you either exhausted or back in compliance to their wicked way. Yeah. That if you get exhausted enough just to get the rest, you will comply. Just to get the rest, you will comply with the narcissist. Just to sleep, you're like, okay, whatever you say. They said, see, I was right in the beginning. And then they go by how right they were. Then they go back to how you took them through. Then they go back to you should have listened to me the first time. I tried to tell you the first time, but because you didn't listen. Now you got a whole conversation, and all you did was say, I'm so exhausted. It ain't that I was wrong. I'm just tired of talking about it. No, you were wrong. And they go back. And when you go to sleep, they say, see, look how you ignore me. And they shaking you, waking you up. And finally, you're looking up at the ceiling. You said, whatever. You're not talking to them. You don't stop arguing. When you go to sleep, they shake you and wake you up. How dare you go to sleep on me when we're talking about something that's important? Yeah, but you never consent that you were wrong. How am I consent when I was wrong? See, this is why we still having this conversation. Then y'all go all the way back to the accusation. Y'all been talking for 4 hours. You get up at 5:30. You say, can I get an hour of sleep? They're going to make sure you don't get that hour. Finally, you get up and take a shower and you go to work, but you're exhausted. And instead of taking lunch, on your lunch break, you sleep. You almost avoid going home. You pick the kids up, and you have to take the kids out to eat because you're too tired to cook. Eminem said, and they will always think you're disrespecting them when you're speaking. Yeah, they will. Why? Because they don't want to hear what you have to say anyway. And when you are speaking, they're thinking, how dare you accuse me? You're not accusing them. I just want you to see this. Danielle says, so true, you get drained. You avoid confronting them just to not have to deal with them. And see, and that's working right into their alley. Because now your avoidance is their consent. She's consenting that I'm right. She's consenting that she's wrong. And then when you don't pay attention to them, now they're thinking you're cheating. Oh. So now you're not talking to me, but you're talking to Freddie. You're like, who is Freddie? I know you're meeting somebody. I know you're talking with somebody. That's why you got your phone in your hand all the time. Honey, you know they call me on my job. You know I got my family. That ain't your family. Because if it was your family, you'll be talking to me. A narcissist needs all of your attention. A narcissist cannot be ignored. A narcissist can't. They refuse to be ignored. They refuse to consent that you're right. They're refusing it. And the more you avoid them, it agitates them. Because now you're messing with their egotistical mindset. You're messing with their sense of grandiose. How dare you think you're better than me that you don't have to talk to me? You should count it a privilege to even talk to me. She said, that's good right there. Yeah. How dare you? And you're doing everything you can to help them. Do you know when they're angry at you, they don't see any of your help? They don't see how you will help them. They see you've been in my way. If I didn't have you, I would be father. You're like, you can't even do nothing without me. Everything that we've ever gained was with me. And they're thinking you're in my way. You're stopping me. You're hindering me. And you're like, hindering you how? See, that's a challenge. Hindering you how? You're just asking them to explain. And the narcissist said, how dare you challenge me? You're like, I'm not challenging you. You say that I'm in your way and I want to see how I'm in your way. She said, you helped me get over my ex. Thank you. This is Chantel. Oh my God. God bless you, woman of God. And I'm glad you were able to move on and move up. You had it in you all the time. You just had to move all the stumbling blocks out of the way. Hey, Haka, how are you? She said, having a conversation with a narcissist is a waste of time. She said, the only one's opinion that count is the narcissist. Yep. Oh, thank you, Haka. That's all that matters. Is their opinion. Your opinion do not matter to them. It doesn't. As a matter, you will always be in a lesser rate than them. You will always be lesser than them. You will never be equal to them. You said, why would you bring me in your life if I was that low life? And you know the narcissist said, I felt sorry for you. I got you so at least somebody could love you. Because you couldn't get it on your own. I was the one that caused. They start taking credit for all your good things. Eminem said, yes, Helen, that's exactly it. And it's speaking on deaf ears. This is why relationships with narcissists are challenged. The more you put into the relationship, it's almost like they got this vault that sucks it right out. Because how can you talk to somebody that's always right? How can you talk to somebody that always got the answers? How can you talk to somebody when the influence it didn't come from you, it came from them? The more the narcissist needs you, the more condemnation you will receive from them. She said, no matter how much you do for them, it's never enough. See, that's what I said. The more you do for them, the more condemnation you're going to get for them. And you can be the only one helping them. They don't care about causing an insurrection to you emotionally. They don't care about that. What they care is, how did it benefit me? How did you suffice me? And you're like, I'm always here for you. And you know the narcissist says, so you act like you're the only one in the world. She said, control is their truth. You know, Danielle, they can't do without it. And the moment you move out of the realm of control, they call you, she said, yes, indeed, Cluster B. Yep. The moment you move away from their control vow, they'll tell you, you see what I mean? You see why a relationship don't work? And when it don't work, they need to blame you for it not working. She said, I was the only one there for them, for the man I was dealing with. And he took his problems out on me. Of course. Do you know the supply that the narcissist value is the most tormented? The supply that the narcissist value is the more tormented. Why? Because they're there with them all the time. And the narcissist put a lot of energy for the supreme supply. She said, how do you feel about the narcissist in the White House? Karen, we have to be very careful how we talk about that. Those grounds, so you have to revert conversation so you can stay on the air. So what you do is give a code. We have to message code. Because if you talk directly, you can be removed. Because it's just everything is censored. We said we got freedom of speech until you speak about the wrong thing that they think is the wrong thing. Then they want to censor it. She said, I told him I'll probably get the worst treatment out of everybody. And he said to me, he treats his family that way too. So sad. No, he don't treat his family the way he treats you. Because if he don't have the time to invest in his family, he don't have the energy to invest in his family, they're not going to get the same treatment. Everybody going to get narcissistic treatment, which is going to be abuse, but they're not going to get the same treatment. She said, I told him I'd probably get the worst treatment, yeah, than anybody. Yeah, you would. You would. The supreme supply get the worst treatment because they're the closest avenue. When the narcissist invests a lot of time into you, a lot of energy into you, be ready for the worst abuse ever. Because we got something called trauma bonding. In order to traumatize you, in order to bring you to your knees, they got to love you, then hate you, love you, then hate you. Then by the time you figure out they're hating you, they're loving back on you. And what this flip-flop calls, it's called trauma bonding. It confuses your psychic. Because your psychologist said, why he hate me so much? Then they come in with all this beauty. Everything you ever think you wanted, they start doing. Then they revert back. Their strongest challenge was me walking away from them. You know what, Danielle? Because you're trauma bonded. Trauma bonding is not easily dismissed. And don't let anyone tell you. That's how people are in stuff for 50 years, 60 years. Trauma bonding. Some of them die in bondage, then still getting the trauma because they can't walk away from it. Plus, to be free, say that again. And it's about the model home. She said, and most narcissists repeat what they have seen. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why the main supply is with the narcissists all the time. The main supply get most of the energy. The main supply get what other people wish they could get from the narcissist, but they don't know the narcissist like the main supply. The main supply know the devastation of the narcissist. The main supply know the abuse of the narcissist. Close hand. And the narcissists, whenever they get in trouble, they return to the main supply. When things don't go right, they return to the main supply. But when things are going beautiful, the main supply is the one they most hate. Because they're thinking, you think you're with me all the time, that you can control me, that you can put me in bondage. Yeah, because things are working for them. She said, why we would be doing so good, and then he will start spewing out the most hateful things I've ever heard. This is Hakar. When he was frustrated with other things in his life. Yeah, you're the punching bag. You are the punching bag. You're the one that's going to receive all the devastation. They don't have nowhere else to go. The narcissist is not totally crazy. You know what I mean? They know where and who they can get away with certain things. And they know who they can't. The narcissists don't treat everybody the same way because everybody's not going to let down their guards. The narcissists don't get over on everybody. There are some people that will stand up to the narcissist no matter how high he is. There's somebody that's going to challenge him. But the main supply, the only way a main supply keep challenging the narcissist is they got to come from under this spell. Because they challenge him in the beginning, but then the narcissist train them. That is not the thing to do. And guess what they do? They start backing off. She said they hate you, and their main purpose is to break and destroy your life. Absolutely. That's your punishment. That's your penalty. The narcissist always penalize a challenger. The narcissist always penalize the challenger. And based on the narcissist you have to be careful how you challenge. Be careful how you challenge a narcissist. Don't think you can challenge a malignant narcissist and nothing happens. She said, holding your boundaries are victories. They can't take from you. They can't take it. But you better be in a safe place. When you got an overt, a sociopath, uh, a sociopath, a malignant, be in safe places because they make threats that they plan to keep. They make threats that ain't nobody gonna stop them from doing it as long as you are in their pathway. That's why you have to know when it requires safety of distance needs to be implemented. Because there's some time your only safety is distance. You're not going to be safe in close parameters with a malignant sociopath, psychopath, overt narcissist. You are not. And when they make threats, they ponder those threats. Those threats begin to possess their mind. She said, when others stand up for the narcissist, like the boss at work corrects them, the narcissist come home and rages at the main supply. Absolutely. Why? Because they're in close proximity. The narcissists always go after the weakest link. Remember that. And when they go after a strong link, they let other folk back up their energy. See, it backs up their energy. And what they do when that energy needs to be backed up, they make sure they got a lot of flying monkeys. They gain on you. And those flying monkeys come at you to put fear. They instill fear so you can back off and back down. Because the narcissist by themselves is not enough to take over the control level that they want. So they get the gang to back you down. And if you become fearful, you back down. But when you start getting ganging up on you like this, it's time to make a conscientious decision of distance. See, yes, boundary is their vicinity. She's a boundary in their vicinity. Had my life at risk. Ooh, this is Danielle. Yep. She said, you're correct. I had to relocate to a safe place with boundaries they couldn't cross. See, right there. See, you have to make decisions when it comes to your life. It ain't about your emotions. It ain't about what you feel. It is about your safety. Because they're no longer thinking about your safety. They're thinking about their offense. They're thinking about their rage. They're thinking about being vindictive. So they no longer care about what happens to you. They don't. You think they care? They don't. And they can be the proponent that creates all the devastation. She said, when you reach that point, it is time to leave. Could I say more? She said it all. When you reach that point, it's time to relocate in a safety place. You know when the finish has come. Your energy level is not the same. Your tolerance is not the same. The first time I felt real peace. Oh, Danielle, I am so glad. I am so glad that you're enjoying the peace that is rightfully yours. Because it doesn't matter what you have. When your peace leaves you, it can be devastating. She said, I want to move from where I live because I don't want this person knowing where I am, where I live anymore. It's over, but I want to feel like he can't come over here. See? Right? 10 minutes? We got 10 minutes, y'all. See how come? It's just like Eminem said, when you reach that point, it's time to leave. The price of peace, oh, Helen, the price of peace is invaluable. I mean, it's priceless. To have peace, you can't pay enough for that anywhere. You cannot subsidize that anywhere. Peace is a manifold existence in a person's life that values their life. The peace has to be there. Because the one thing the narcissist is going to go after is your peace. Because they don't have it. And they mad when you have it. Priceless, Danielle said. Absolutely. They mad when you have peace. They mad when you got victory. They mad when you can conquer. They mad when they can't move you from who you are. When the narcissist cannot move you from who you are, Ernestine, they get devastated. To them, that's an injury. That they can't move you. That they can't cause you to be overwhelmed. That they can't take your peace away. The narcissist feels cheated. How dare you think you got peace and I don't have peace? And if you notice it, when they sleep like a baby, look, they don't cut up. And they can sleep like a baby. But challenge them. They're tossing and turning. They don't need much sleep. Because these vagabond spirit wanderers is what they're called. Wanderers don't need a lot of sleep because they don't have peace. And they connect with the environment that they produce. Frustration. Frustration is their peace. If they're not tearing up something in folk lives, they don't have peace. When they are at peace, they have destroyed something. They have terminated something illegally. They have taken control which was not rightfully theirs. Narcissists want sovereignty. There's no sovereignty to a man because everybody is accountable. Even if they think they're sovereign, their breath, if they go through certain sickness and disease, they can't heal themselves. How is that sovereignty? God is sovereign. He make a decision and it happens. He wants what he wants, but he gives man the opportunity to decide. When you are with a narcissist on a 5-minute countdown, you have to make conscientious decisions about your life. You have to. You have to. Because the narcissist does not have the palate for your peace, your significance, and your power. And you can stay powerless as long as you make a decision to do it. As long as you yield to do it. You think, but I can't leave. There's no such thing as can't. The narcissist, unless they got you caged 24 hours a day, there becomes an avenue of escape. There comes an avenue of relocation. You say, but I don't have any money, but you got programs that will assist you. They will help you. If you feel threatened, Karen, put up the number that they can get help in their state. There are programs designed for domestic violence situation. And it's not just for physical abuse. It's also for emotional abuse. If you feel trapped, they won't let you go. They won't let you out of a room. They won't let you out of the house. They threaten to do preposterous things to you. If you ever think about leaving, peace is expensive, but so is chaos. She said the real question is, which price are you willing to pay? Man, that's good right there. That is good. Peace is expensive, but so is chaos. Which price are you willing to pay? Oh my God. I want to leave it at that one. I don't want to touch that. Peace is expensive, but so is chaos. What price are you willing to pay? When I get off Eminem, I'm getting ready to do a video on just that. Peace is expensive, but so is chaos. What price are you willing to pay? She said, if you're not already subscribed, thank you so much, Danielle. Tap the subscribe button and like the video on the way out. Amen. We broke up and aren't contacting each other, but I still feel like I'm being watched by this person. More than likely. More than likely, you are. Because you got to remember, once dealt with a narcissist, the narcissist possess in their mind ownership. And when the narcissists see you as property, they think they can do anything they want to do with their property. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233 or 1-800-799-SAFE for local domestic violence advocate. She said, this was awesome, fam. So glad to see everyone. Until the next week, be blessed. She said, they are always going to be watching you. Yes, ma'am. All right, my time is up. I want you to write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Give your comments, give your questions, and I will answer them. I'm also a certified life coach. I can coach you in situations that you're going through. Write me, destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Don't forget the Destiny Helper 12s, because there's other emails with Destiny Helper, but I'm Destiny Helper 12s@gmail.com. She said the rewards is priceless, clear mind, steady spirit, joy that isn't shaken by circumstances, and freedom to live aligned with God's will. Absolutely. Yep, Destiny Helper 12s@gmail.com. All right, everybody. I want you to think about the things that we said. Thank you so much. People go back and they re-access these portals and the information that you've given. And it helps so many people. Don't think that your comments are useless. They go back to those comments and they verify what you said, because it's happening in their life right now. And it lets them know they're not the only one going through this. I want you to make sure you like and subscribe to my email. I'm believing God by December we have 20,000 followers. And so I need you to tell somebody about this. All right, Eminem, good night. God bless you. Download the Clubhouse app every Tuesday. Your Destiny Helper Room, effective communication happen at 7:45 Pacific, 10:45 Eastern, 9:45 Central. Helen said, thank you all. Keep us up in prayer. Amen. Leave a comment, share with a friend. Eminem say amen. Ernestine say amen. All right. Good night, everyone. Meet me next week, right after Fantabulous Bible Study. I love you. I love you. I love you. God bless you. Bye-bye.